Eric, it always comes as a surprise when this happens to a young lad at this stage of the season, but he's earned it, hasn't he?
Well, he has. I mean, if you look at the character that we had last season and the one that's come back this season is a completely different one. He's still the same nice boy that he was last year, but he's come back with a different mindset around his football. Picked up a little bit of an injury after training with first team, with the intensity of catch up with young players, especially the frame that Lewis has got. But he's obviously impressed, and again, you know, the club supports its young players, and he's been given his pro contract, so everybody's absolutely delighted for him. You know, I always worry sometimes about young boys getting them so early because they can just go off the rails, but he's not like that. He's a very level-headed, shy, quiet boy, and I think he'll settle him down, and now he'll be able to just go out and show the first team manager that he's worth the starting place.
With the lockdown, not many fans will know Lewis Bell. They won't know how he plays and what he's about. How would you describe him as a player?
Well, for us last year, he was a little wily winger, in the old way of putting it. You know, he's very good on the ball. His first touch has always been impressive. But he used to worry about taking people on because in case he lost it. And he always wanted to be conservative and check out, and we had to instill into him that, you know, we're not bothered about him making mistakes as long as he makes mistakes being positive, that we'll support that. And I think he's learnt that, and he's come back. He has come back a different person, asking questions, wanting to know where he thinks his best position is, what we expect of him, and he's surprised us. So like he's used lockdown as a good time to think about what he wants and the way he's going forward, and he's put that into action, and rapidly, you know, the first team staff have seen enough in him, and David's seen enough in him to offer him his contract, so very good.
He slotted in at that Liverpool game, a very good Liverpool academy side, and Lewis was there battling away. That must have helped him and the manager in terms of making a decision. Yeah,
I weren't there, I didn't see the game, but I got the reports back after, and I had a quick look. I watched a bit of it on Liverpool's YouTube channel. He did surprise me. He is positive, you know, but again, he come back, and when I talked to him about it, he just loved being in the surroundings, which is good because Liverpool surroundings, Manchester United surroundings can frighten people. And he came back and he just loved every minute of playing in that venue, so good. That's another step forward for him.
This is a Carlisle boy from the age of 9. He's been in our academy. This is what you wanted first time you were here, and certainly what you wanted when you came back and said, right, it's got to be Carlisle boys, let's try and develop them.
Yeah, I've always said that if we'd 16 Carlisle boys in the system and I didn't have to go out scouting, then that'd be great. But I've always had this, that we want to try and get the best we can. So unfortunately, we'll take the best Carlisle boys and then we'll go outside and find the numbers we need to make the group up. I'm not just taking Carlisle boys because they are from Carlisle. What I did say was my wish is one day that we'd have all 16 YT players would be Carlisle boys who were better than what we could find from outside. So I'm delighted with him that he's a local boy, and his parents are local and they support the club, which is a nice thing. In the days of EPPP, it's very rare now that a young boy will come through from 9 and go right through and play for first team because they've usually been snapped up by then. But we can do that here because of a geography of the place, and we get well supported.
You've touched on this already, but how do you help to keep his feet on the ground? Because it can happen where he thinks I've made it, and that isn't the case.
I don't think there'll be any problem with this one. He's very level-headed, and like I keep saying, he's that nice boy and I've told him to stay nice, but he has to change when he goes on a football pitch, and he has. You've seen that with, you know, I pulled him after one of the first training sessions. He was whinging and whining because one at first years and passing the ball when he wanted it, and I said, well, hang on a bit, remember you last year when the second years had a go at you and you didn't like it? I said, by all means do it, but do it in the right manner, and he does. And I don't think there's any problem whatsoever with Lewis keeping his feet on the floor. He's not that sort of boy.
And the other second years within the group right now, they must look at something like this and think, wow, this is on, we can do this.
Well, it's up to them then, isn't it? They'll go one way or the other. They'll use that as an inspiration and push on and try and get a contract, or they'll think they're getting left behind. But they'll certainly get help, but that's got to inspire them surely.
A couple of other things, Eric. Pre-season has been crazy for you guys. You'd normally have had a raft of fixtures by now. You haven't been able to do that. What's it been like?
Well, we've been back a month now. We've played 3, so we've done okay. We've played them away from home because we had problems with the Workington friendly with somebody testing positive, so we couldn't do that. It were better for us to go away from home because the protocols put that on the home side. I mean, I've got that to come in a couple of weeks' time with our own game, and I've just had a Zoom call with Football League last night, and what we have to do to get an home games on is frightening. But so we've been to Middlesbrough against really good opposition. We've done the Parkview game, which we do every year, and we've got Newcastle away, and then we start against Preston. St Times first team start to Cambridge.
Important part of this is the first years and bedding them in, because it is a shock, isn't it, to the system for 16-year-old boys that age. Is that happening? Are they settling down?
They've done okay. I've been surprised. They've surprised us. They're here full time. Quite a few of them are here full time. They don't get to go home because of the situation, and they've settled in really well. Really surprised at the performance at Middlesbrough. So long may that continue. I usually say October time is the time that they start finding it tough, because obviously the weather's changed, it goes darker, it's wet, it's cold, and Christmas seems a million miles away. But that's the time they usually get homesick. But they have settled in really well, and the dressing room seems a really happy one. Second years are good guys anyway, and they've helped them settle in. So I don't think there's any egos in that dressing room either. So that helps.
And just finally, Eric, you've always said it's about getting the Lewis Bells of the world through the system, but last season we were pushing towards the top of the table. Do you want to see the same again, or is it all about getting second years through?
Yeah, I mean, if you look, we lost the best 2 players before the season started. You know, Josh left us for Leeds, and Jared was a first team player. Taylor left us after 2 games, and we never saw him again. So all 3 left us for the right reasons. And we still managed to finish up 4th behind Fleetwood, Preston and Salford. So Preston being a big club, and Fleetwood and Salford throwing a lot of money at the youth and developing the youth system. So I'm really pleased with the way the youth team handled this season after losing the 3 lads who went to 2 went to first team and 1 got transferred. So yeah, we're really pleased with it.